We supply them with about 1.8 million tons, 1.8 million tons of food and aid. That's an enormous amount. And that's why you didn't have mass starvation at all. And we're accused of starvation. So what happened? As we were supplying these aid trucks, Hamas looted them. They took a good chunk for themselves, and the remainder they sold to the civilian population at exorbitant prices. And thereby, they funded their own recruits, new recruits, because we were able to kill a lot of terrorists. So they have to replenish their war machine, their terrorist army.
What I do know, however, is that the needs are 500 to 600 trucks at a minimum that should go into Gaza loaded with supplies, not only food, but also medicine, medical supplies, vaccines for children, fuel, water, and other basics for people's survival. And we're very, very, very far from reaching that target.
In Gaza, it's locked, not because we locked it. It's locked. I'm in the foreign ministry right now, so I have to be a diplomat. You explain later, Gidon, why the southern border is locked. We didn't lock it. People want to leave, but they can't. So it's the biggest open air jail in the world. As far as we're concerned, we'll let anybody leave. If you want to leave, leave. But they can't. And within that locked arena, it's a very small place. It's like one of your big towns, big metropolises, okay? Within that, there are war zones, combat zones. And Hamas is trying to lock the Palestinians, civilian population, within the place where we conduct the war. That's what they do. So we supply them with about 1.8 million tons, 1.8 million tons of food and aid. That's an enormous amount. And that's why you didn't have mass starvation at all. In fact, I'll give you one simple indication of that. We take thousands of prisoners. We sort them out into civilians and into combatants, and we photograph them. And you can see those photographs, those videos. What's the first thing you do when you take a prisoner in Gaza? The first thing you do is you tell them, take your shirt off. We want to see that there's no suicide vest. Thousands and thousands of prisoners have taken their shirt off. And you don't see one, not one, emaciated. Not a single case. From the beginning of the war till the present. In fact, you see quite the opposite because you don't get that much exercise, certainly not in tunnels. But you get food.
As the Secretary General noted last week, we and our partners have a detailed principle of operational sound plans.
What I do know, however, is that the needs are 500 to 600 trucks at a minimum that should go into Gaza loaded with supplies, not only food, but also medicine, medical supplies, vaccines for children, fuel, water, and other basics for people's survival. And we're very, very, very far from reaching that target.
Turning to the situation in Gaza, and I can tell you that we have been watching the video coming out of Gaza around one of the distribution points set up by the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, and frankly, these images are heartbreaking to say the least. As the Secretary General noted last week, we and our partners have a detailed, principled, operationally sound plan supported by member states to get aid to desperate population. We continue to stress that a meaningful scale-up of humanitarian operations is essential to stave off famine and meet the needs of all civilians wherever they are. The situation in the south of Gaza is particularly concerning as no fuel is currently available there, and only 1/3 of the required supply was received last week. Meanwhile, northern Gaza has managed to secure sufficient fuel to sustain water, sanitation operations for 2 weeks. Our colleagues at the Office of the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, and as we all do, continue to call for the opening of all crossing points for humanitarian aid and commercial goods. We and our humanitarian partners stand ready to deliver at scale, which is something we've been repeated over and over and over again. International law must be respected and humanitarian operations must be enabled without any further delay.